Glad to know that the music is all good now. So we will have a little bit of that playing in the background. Okay. All right, beautiful ones. Whew. Let's just settle in, everyone. Let's just come into our hearts. And I welcome you into this beautiful virtual tea space. As with the sacred tea space itself, we come in here shedding the worldly dust. We come in here with a heart that is wide open. We come in here with a mind that is clear and harmonious. Harmonious with the great Tao, the great mystery, the universe, the cosmos. We come in here as the cosmic being, shedding away any judgment for ourselves and others. We come in here moving through the eye of the needle to become nobody. No body, no time, no space. And take a seat. Allow yourself to land fully. Feel your body landing through your pelvic bowl if you're seated. If you're standing, let yourself really feel your body landing and anchoring in through the soles of your feet. And let your heart open up, perhaps shrugging your shoulders back, and let your chest open towards the sky. Maybe you can take a moment, if you haven't already, just close your eyes. Turn your gaze inward. Take a deep breath into the belly. Hold the breath. Inhale again into the heart. Let the energy spread out into the heart, deep into the heart. Hold. Let the wisdom of the cosmos really infuse every part of your heart. And when you cannot hold your breath any longer, simply exhale your heart all the way up into the center of your brain. And let it land, let it pop like fireworks through the roof of your head and all around inside of your head. Let the heart melt the mind open. Let the mind revel and witness the heart taking up space. And then take a deep breath through the third eye. Breathe the light in. Let it enter through the third eye into the center of your head. And all at once bring the mind with your exhale into the heart. Let the mind be in the heart now. Let the mind witness the heart space. Let the mind be embraced, for the heart is all embracing. Ready, always ready to invite the logical, analytical mind back in. Let the mind soak it all up. Invite the mind to remember you are an infinite being, here having a human experience. In this moment, check, come in. Can you come in deeper into the temple of this body of yours? Scan the body for any charge, any parts of your body that is wanting to be part of this melting pot of love that's going on. Can you let the light in your heart go deeper? Letting all your fears, any resistance, anything that is clouding the mind, that is gripping the mind, that is holding you back from being here fully, let them all go. And at this very moment, if there are anything that is surfacing, simply allow that to be. Let your infinite higher self be present. Open your sacred eyes to witness any of these charges, fears, resistance, any thought form or energetic charge, emotional charge that's coming up. So they may come in as thoughts. They can also come in as just simply a charge in the body, like a little tension, a little trigger, something tweaking, twitching, body ache even. And I would love for you to be that higher being, the cosmic being that you truly are, and bear complete, full, sacred witness of what is occurring now. And acknowledge that what is occurring now hasn't just happened like out of nowhere. It is an accumulation of perhaps years, months, days, weeks, maybe even generations of limiting beliefs. That's all. That's all. And you are here now, you're safe and you're free to see through the veils of illusions they cast. Are you willing to see through them? That is the question. And see not with your physical eyes, but see with your art, your heart. Your art was coming through, your eyes and your heart. It seems to be saying very powerfully. Oh, I can feel a lot of energy moving through the upper chest. So just allow yourself to land even deeper into the belly. So inhaling and exhaling through the belly. A few more breaths. Let's move into the chamber of the infinite field together now. And let us all open our hands, open our palms to receive the leaf. Let the leaf drift down from the light that is showering down upon us into our palms. the leaf that used to be no name, no time, no space, and the language the leaf spoke was the language of the forest. And now here we are, daughters of the forest, sitting, receiving the spirit of tea. May we all join our hands together in gratitude, for gratitude is the ultimate receivership. And allow ourselves to become clear, crystalline vessels. Allow ourselves to be listening so deeply to the words and beyond the words, and allow the transmission to land most powerfully for us today. Closing our hands in this moment in a beautiful prayer position in honor of the tradition and the culture that carries the wisdom for all of us to share today. Take a moment to honor your body. Take a moment to thank your mind for tuning in, for receiving, for being receptive. And take a moment now to allow your soul to really fully rise with the sacred promise that we shall never ever compromise on our soul's desires ever again. And so it is. Now I would love for you to anchor this into your nervous system. So slowly releasing your palms. You can place one hand onto the opposite side of your knee, and then you can twist your spine to look over your shoulders. Take a deep breath in from the heart of Mother Earth into the belly. And I would love for you to exhale through this channel that runs through the solar plexus, the heart, the throat, into the third eye, and out through the crown into cosmos. Let yourself be fully earthbound. And send the signal to the cosmos. Yes. And then one more time to the other side. This time you're going to drink in the cosmic light through the crown of your head. Drink it all in from high above, from the infinite sky, deep into the belly. And I would love for you to exhale all the way down into your chakra 10, deep below where you're seated. Your destiny. Fully receiving, fully ready to serve, fully here. So I'm just doing this because I just want to warm up my hands again. Sometimes my fingers get really cold, like cosmic cold. So if that's for you as well, just rub them. And you can bring them to your face. You can rub your face, bring sensations back to your body, to the side of your head, down the side of your throat, down the side of your body. Rub your thighs, bring yourself back, clap, and smooth down your chest. You can massage your heart if you want even, your chest, the sternum, and just come back, come back, come back, and be here, okay? How's everyone feeling? Let me know. Just take a pause here before we dive into the transmission for today. And I just saw your message, Chandra. Chandra is saying, I want to learn tea as a healing ceremony to offer as a part of Reiki and Tantric work. Beautiful. Okay. So I love that we started off with that, and with what Chandra said, it's really prompted me to also begin from here. So we shall begin from here, and then we'll see where it goes. So a lot of times I've received requests and questions about, how can I start to learn with you so that I can share tea out in the world as a healing modality, or incorporate or integrate that into my work, my offerings as a healer or energy worker, whatever you want to call yourself. And the really honest answer I often would say is, it's not going to take a certificate for you to be prepared. It's not going to take 3 months for you to be prepared. I don't know how long it will take for you to be prepared. And so I don't have a certificate for tea, for ceremony. I don't have a certificate that tells you like, you're ready to be a facilitator now. Because the way of tea is so much more than a modality. And this is one of the things I really wanted to talk about today, and bring some curiosity to your heart, to your mind, and certainly to expand your capacity as a space holder in every way. Because we have a good heart, yeah? All of us have a very good heart. We want to serve. And in the world that we live in, it's often very important to acknowledge that to serve, we also have to nourish ourselves and take care of ourselves. And what that means is that if we do want to turn this passion or this art of service into a full-time thing, we have to learn to create something that will create an energy exchange, meaning money, right? So your relationship with money is a very important relationship, because it really dictates how you treat your clients and how you treat your business, how you treat a modality. Now, I have spoken about this a while ago, but it's become very, very clear for me that my work really is here to decolonize you, your mind, your body, and your spirit. And tea just happens to be the initiation for me into this world. And it's something that helps me a lot in guiding people that I work with, because it's such a clear and non-judgmental medicine. Because I am human. So I sometimes, and certainly something I'm becoming very aware of, is I do judge. I'm human. It's human for me to judge. It's human for me to have some sort of experience that will color the way I see the world. So I'm very thankful. I'm certainly so thankful that I am working with a plant that is so highly discerning and so opening. It's a heart tonic. It's a Shen tonic in traditional Chinese medicine. So what that means in short is that Shen itself is a spirit, and we oftentimes call Shen as the light that we see in your eyes. And Shen can be very, it can elude us when we are stuck in a fight-flight response, or our nervous system is super fried and we're super stressed and we have no time to even think about how to be in service, because we are constantly stuck in fear and stress and anxiety and scarcity. Now that is part of it's part of decolonizing your mind. That is really part of decolonizing the mind, that oftentimes is on the lookout, which is most of the world, on the lookout for, oh my God, I don't have enough, or I'm not enough. She's better than me. I'm not I'm not there yet. I need to add more, or I need to get more before I can even consider myself to be successful, so on and so forth. And eventually you may come to a point where you even discover that, I thought that would make me successful, but it doesn't make me feel successful at all. And now I'm looking outward to find something else to make me feel that way. So that first and foremost needs to be something to look at if that is existing within you. And the second thing is to be fully in integrity to a modality, fully in devotion to a modality that you're working with. Not because it is bringing you clients, but actually because it is fully something that you can walk with even when you don't have clients. Even when you're no longer working in an energy healing realm, for example. Even when you don't have anything that is considerably giving you a return on investment. And this is very important to say because I think this is the great thing, right? This is the great thing that happens when spirituality became a really more acceptable thing, let's put it that way. We have an explosion of modalities. We have an explosion of people to work with. You know, we can go on a hashtag today that is like easily like spirituality, hashtag of manifestation, hashtag law of attraction, hashtag even tea ceremony. And you'll find thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people that you literally can work with. You can ask to work with. You can ask to join their ceremonies. You can ask to go to their classes. And it can range from $10 to $10,000. Now, what makes them different, and what I really stand by for myself, at least personally, this is something I've really worked with and really honor now, is that we all bring our uniqueness to it. Every tea ceremony, every person who serves at a ceremony has a different energy. You probably notice this for yourself. You probably notice this for the teachers or mentors that you're attracted to. And what I see often a lot nowadays is that it's almost like a circular dating thing that's happening. You will probably work with a teacher for a while and then you will jump off and work with another teacher. Or you're on YouTube and you're watching all kinds of different teachers talking at different podcasts. And if you're on Insight Timer, if you're on Instagram, I'm sure you're no stranger to that. You see all kinds of things, all the reels, all the different people saying one thing and another, and And is it any wonder that we see more and more people getting more confused? Is it any wonder that we're seeing more and more people getting doubtful? And to a certain extent, some people who even say, I quit spirituality because it's all a hoax, because everyone's saying one thing and then there's another, and then there's this person who's just so fake, and then this person who's real and then he's fake already, right? How many of you have gone through this? Let me know. There's no shame, no judgment, no nothing. I'm just sharing it, and I share this because I personally experienced this myself. Yes? So it came to a point for me where, you know, I was really, really, really deep in this contemplation of, so there's a lot of complaining from my end of how the world is like. And I notice this often with people that I'm attracting to. It's like all of us are saying the same thing. We want to change the world. We want to change the world. But wait a minute. The one thing that I can be certain of is that I can change myself. I can change myself to become a vibrational match to what my soul desires to be, what my soul desires to see. And so I started to go deeper into my own practice. I definitely had a moment where I stopped scrolling at all. I also stopped working with some business mentors and all of that for a while as well. And I really dove deep into what I truly am very, 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 very at one with, which is the way of tea practice. And so working with tea, I went back to, after, you know, since the beginning of time when I started working with tea, I started to go back to all of those very, what we call foundational things. And that foundational thing is that relationship I have with my own medicine and my own being. Not just the human, which is also very important, but also my vastness as a cosmic being. So I really had to sit myself down and ask myself, taking away everything in life, no clients, no money, no nothing, no social media, like all the material 3D things, if I take them all away, what would my life really look like? And I kept seeing myself sitting on a mountaintop, sitting very, very closely to a temple amongst trees that whispers their glory. And I was holding a bowl of tea. And I was so happy. I was in wondrous bliss. And then when I widened my vision, I could see beautiful beings coming forward, coming up the mountain to sit with me and share tea. And when I speak about tea, I'm not speaking about how the tea tastes like, how the tea smells. I'm not speaking about, okay, you have to brew this for 15 minutes, and then the next steep, you have to brew it for 5 minutes. I'm not speaking about that. When I speak about tea, I'm speaking about our direct experience with the spirit. I'm speaking about entering into the spirit of this very, very old, ancient, wise woman, the divine feminine. I'm speaking about entering through this portal into the infinite field of potential, that source where all things originate from. I'm speaking about the ancestral lands. I'm speaking about what was created out of the hands of this very source. I'm speaking about entering through nature, through tea, to your divine nature. So this responsibility is huge. But it doesn't feel heavy for me. It's not like a heavy, how society tends to talk about responsibilities. It's not that. It's a blissful lightness. It's like, yes, I am honored that I'm chosen to lead this movement. I'm honored to serve. And in fact, if I can't see this happening, this shift, this lifetime, I know I will choose to come back again, to continue doing this work until the day the paradigm shifts into a place where women are leading from their heart, where women are living through stillness, quiet power and grace and divine flow, where women decolonize their minds and see through the illusions of scarcity. There's never been competition, there's never been comparison. It's not like I've got it and you don't. It's not like I have it now, they chose me so they don't choose you. No. And when we decolonize our body, we're not striving to lose weight and look pretty by societal standards. We're not trying to fit our body into some kind of standard that is not ours. We're not trying to berate ourselves when we get older. We're actually going to see our elderliness, the beauty in becoming an elder, the beauty in our body, the emotions that move through us, how beautiful it is to feel. And when we decolonize our spirit, we throw away the spiritual yardstick. We throw away the spiritual yardstick and we fully believe in the depth of our knowing. And when we choose mentors, when we choose to work with a mentor, we're not choosing because we need them. We're choosing because we are here to be supported. I remember doing this with a mentorship that I was contemplating of going into, because it was very clear to me that I didn't need this mentor, and it certainly felt new to me at the time. But I knew my higher self loves to be supported. My higher self would choose in an instant to be supported. My higher self would choose to be expanded again and again and again and again, because we're infinite. So I broke through the illusion and said, yes, I will walk as my higher self right now, because that is how, and that's the way you can embody your higher vision. Your higher vision is not right there, far, far away. Your higher vision is here. It's right here. And tea clears the way for us. Tea clears out the noise for us. You know, it's really, really important for me to say that my focus, my sole focus right now is really to bring in people, to invite in people who desire a safe space to really expand on their devotion to the practice and continue to journey on this, not jumping from one thing to another because there is some promise that you just need 3 months and you're done. This is a journey, and this experience is sacred. So many practitioners have certificates hanging on their walls, but can they actually admit that this journey is eternal? And can they actually stay silent and truly listen to spirit and be led by spirit? That is the question I always ask. Can you not interject and try to fix things? Can you listen so deeply and hold space for the terror, the fear of the other person who comes to you? Can you hold space as well for their celebration? Because here's the thing, this is how quantum leaps happen. Your clients will most likely achieve what you have achieved faster than you. This is how the compound effect happens. Can you hold space for that without comparing yourself to that and say, oh my gosh, like she did it so much quicker than me. Who am I to lead her? Can you hold space for judgments from others? People who say your way is wrong, or people who say that you're totally off the mark. Can you also hold space for the people who are saying yes, 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 yes to you? Imagine an avalanche of people looking to you. Can you hold space for that as well and not go into imposter syndrome? Oh, thank you, Ivan. And so it is important for me to say all of that, because sharing tea in ceremony isn't just this show of putting tea into the water and then into the pot and serving it to you. It's a crystalline vessel. I prepare the space way before I meet my clients. Not just the physical space, absolutely I do, but also the sacred geometry of the space. So that this space is truly, truly stripped clean of my preferences, my rejections, my perspectives, so that the transmission lands very clearly. And that's why it's no coincidence that tea has been used for centuries by Zen monks. The disciple and the master, when they sit together, there's no words. No words. It's non-verbal, but through the tea, in ceremony together, the transmission is transmitted. we also have to learn to cultivate the trust for the nonverbal transmission. We really do. This is why creating a right relationship is important. What does that mean? That means, firstly, unlearning the ways that you have picked up, all the defenses, all the offenses, even the mechanisms that you picked up in order to navigate this world. You knew what you knew at the time, so now you know better. It's time to let it go. If you have trouble with that, the way of T helps you do it in quantum leaps. And then next, you come in to really, really understand what it means to deeply listen. When you work with a plant, it's not about what can you give me. It's not about looking at the tree and saying, how much can you give me? It's not about manipulating the energy of the medicine and getting it to work faster. No. Gosh, it's such a deep surrender as a human to the plant. And I can tell you 100% the plant can do way more than my human mind can ever conceive. But first and foremost, you have to be willing to be led by spirit. You have to be willing. And then you lead. You go out there and you lead with your light shining at its fullest, most radiant potency. You share how your life has been changed. Because as more and more people hear your story, as more and more people look at you, look at how you've transformed, more and more people can compound that effect, and it lands for them even faster, like I said. And again, and more, and more, and more. And that is how we change the world. It's not about eliminating all the bad things that the mind thinks is bad, by the way. Because it's only bad when the mind labels it as bad. And it's really not about eliminating all of that and it's happily ever after. Those things that are happening to you, that your mind thinks is happening to you, they are all happening for you. They are challenging because the resistance can create a really powerful growth. They are difficult because it's new to the mind. That's all. And the more you allow, the more you're willing to step out of your comfort zone to continue to outgrow the spaces that you're in, the more you realize that, oh my God, actually all of this is happening through me, as me, for me. Everyone, every person I encounter that I love or that I find challenging are all reflections of my consciousness. And this is my secret. The minute I release any intense rejection or intense desire for anyone or anything, everything lands. Everything lands. And it's beyond even what your mind can dream of. Because your mind can only dream as far as what it knows. The mind only knows what it knows. And you know, it's funny because we're at this time of the year where, you know, you see a lot of people talking about, you know, vision boards and putting your intention out there and, you know, pull out an image of what you would love for your space to look like or your life to look like where do you want to go, like travel and all of that. And, you know, it's really funny because a few years back, I wasn't in this world at all, and I never could have envisioned that I would be sitting right here, right now, talking to you about God and consciousness and infinite realms and jumping timelines. Like, holy, that would never have come across my vision board. And even then, it was really quite interesting to look back now as a beauty editor at Harper's Bazaar. I remember, you know, my bless her heart, my senior designer, she would always tell me like, can you put together like an image board of what you envision your shoot to look like? We would shoot all these beautiful beauty spreads that will come into the magazine. And I always found it really difficult because I was like, how can I even put down on paper what I see in my mind when it's never been done? Like that would always come across my mind. And actually, you know, I even had a brief stint as a marketer. Like I worked in marketing for fragrances, like Armani and Kenzo and all of that. And it's really funny because like, I remember thinking like, how do you even put in a forecast when we could do so much more? Like, why are we putting in like a forecast budget when, or like, how do you even know? Like, oh, because we base the number based on what we did last year. But in my head, I was thinking like, but how can that be enough? Like, how can that be the only reason for you to put that number down? Like, what if we could do so much more, you know? And so I think it's safe to say that I have a beautiful playground right now to play with the infinite realm, you know, and it's so interesting to see when you can bring this infinite energy, this mindset, this perspective into places where you may deem as conventional. It is so needed right now. You know, your office, your company, maybe you think it's like, oh, they would never understand this kind of things that we're talking about. Like, don't be fooled. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised because everything is a construct. Your personal reality is a construct of your level of consciousness. If you are fully awakened and you fully believe that you truly know that you are, there is no reason why your reality cannot reflect that. It's the law. It's the law. So I can really sit here and tell you how tea has really transformed my life. But for the longest time, you know, like I always said that, you know, the transmission is not from me, it's from the plant, it's like the cosmos channeling through me, and it's all true. But I am needed. I am necessary in this equation. So are you. For the work that you're sharing, for your presence, you decided to come to Earth for a reason. All of us. It's not just me, it's you too. All of you. All of you, all of you, all of you. So if you, wherever you find yourself right now, whether you find yourself, you know, in a place where you're at a loss, like, I don't know what I'm here to do. Or whether you're in a place where you're really like, yes, I have a purpose. I need to get this out there. It's not happening fast enough though, but you know, I'm holding on. It's the gestation period of my desires. Wherever you find yourself, remember who you are. Remember who you are. And the key thing really is to have a right relationship with everything in your life. And for me, it is wild to say this, but I really don't see any competition. I really don't. And it was shocking for me when I first came into this realm of working with people spiritually as a spiritual teacher, a spiritual mentor, a ceremonial keeper of the way of tea, to see that people actually are thinking in terms of competition, thinking in terms of comparison. I've definitely had long years of comparing to others, trust me. I had many years of walking through eating disorders and anorexia. The wasteland of anorexia was about 10 years of my life. So I know what you're talking about. But what happens when you come into a realm where you're working with energy, where you're working with spirituality, and yet your subconscious patterns are still playing the old song of comparison, of the old matrix, what happens then? Then we're bringing in something that is going to create murky waters for us. That's why I see so many really getting quite lost in this journey. And then you start to look outward, thinking that the answer and the solution is outside of you. And then you start to maybe even think like, oh my God, why do I always constantly want more? Maybe this is not right. It's not spiritually right. Like, let us be clear. We're infinite beings. It is natural for us to grow. And yes, there will be moments when you have to come into stillness. This is why the practice of the way of tea ceremony is so powerful. That stillness allows you to come into a 0-point field before you start to come into motion again. When you become the one in motion, you're the stillness in motion now, not chaos in motion, not going into like, some kind of destructive energy. And even when there is a moment when things need to fall apart, the unlearning especially, it's happening for you in a very natural, light way. Doesn't mean you wouldn't grieve, because you will. Yeah, I have clients, even for myself personally, we had a ceremony to grieve the one who left, the one who didn't know as much, because this is the power behind grieving, the power of releasing shame and embarrassment for what has passed. We alchemize that with love. And love is the highest vibrational frequency that is carried through for centuries in ceremony with tea. The highest form of ceremony is love. Yeah. And ceremony is really the highest form of remembrance of your divinity. That is dynamic, that is living, that is in motion. It truly is so sacred, and yet it is alive. It's not set in stone, it's very alive. This is what I mean. If you're working with people, you have to be in that very fluid space. Yeah? You want to really tune in and listen to the person that is with you. You really want to hold your standards. What is your standard? What are your standards? What are your values? You have to be very clear so that nobody else's values and standards can be imposed on you, even if they try. And most of the time, actually, funnily enough, even though we get very triggered, and that is probably something to look at if it is for you, they are not really imposing it on us. They're just giving us their opinion and perspective. They're just showing us who they are when they share something about their values and their standards. And we may disagree with it, but it doesn't affect us when we know very clearly our standards and our values. So we don't put them on the pedestal. We also don't put them in the pit if we don't like it. It's very important, because the minute you judge, whether it's yourself or others, you're judging yourself. Whether you're aware of it or not, whether you think you're not, you are. Because there is only one of us here. And that infinite source, oh my gosh, the infinite source, yes, love is the law. The law is love, as above, so below. It loves to love. It loves. So anything that expands on the energy of love, even though your mind will come up and say, oh my God, I don't know how to do it. Like if you were saying, oh my God, I would love to be in this energy more. I want to come into mentorship. I want to be in this energy and compound it. But my mind is saying, I don't know how. Let the love win. Because the minute you set that intention, you set that standard, the way will be shown. And now, the question is, do you decide to take the way? That was exactly what happened for me. My way, at the time, I was still working in editorial, I was living in Hong Kong, and to be honest, on the surface, it looked like my dreams have come true, all of it. But I felt this little niggly feeling. There's something more out there for me to explore. I feel like my soul is like asking for something, but I don't know what it is. And I sent this message out to the universe. I said, universe, show me the way. Show me the way. And it literally showed me the way of tea. I walked into the tea ceremony and tea spirit came into form and gave me a heavenly mandate that I have to go and serve. Drop everything I know and go and serve tea. And boy, oh boy, dropping everything I know includes the ego, includes the need for validation, includes the need for external approvals from teachers, from colleagues, from every single person in my life, father, mother, sisters, husband. And this is so true for me, is that ultimately I only have myself to answer to, me and God, me and Source, me and all there is. So how do you want to live your one life? Yes? So Mary, hello. Hello, Mary. Okay, Mary's asking, Li Ying, I may have missed this. What is the process of working with you? So there are several ways that you can jump in right now. Things are always shifting in my world. So right now you can come in through a one-to-one tea ceremony activation. And this activation is really potent in a way where I call it the masterpiece, because you get to share the masterpiece era tea with me. So some of you may know this, some of you may not know. The masterpiece era are teas that come from 1,000-year-old trees and have been stored away as vintage teas. So they've been around for, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And so that brings us into a very, very energetically aligned sacred space already through the plant. And then through the activation that I bring you into, we can work on anything that is energetically misaligned or you feel like you lack spiritual integration of, so that you can really cultivate this awareness to see beyond the surface, to cultivate this sense of deep peace and clarity, and you enter the field to access your infinite potential. Because you have to become nobody in order to go into the source of who you really are. So this is very, very important. And of course, your multidimensionality is already available for you to access. I'm just here to clear the way and guide you and mirror back to you what needs to be expanded, what's standing in the way and all of that. But you are the leader. You are here to lead yourself into those spaces, to work with me, to become the portal of the divine expression that is here to live, that is here to fully be expressed. That is who you are. So that is one way to work with me, Mary. And then, of course, I would love to invite all of you to come in right now, because this is time sensitive. It's called the outgrowth. It is a highest self activation journey. This is an incredible, incredible space, everyone. The outgrowth is going to kick off together live on the 21st of January. So it's on sale right now. You can come in. The outgrowth, oh my gosh, what can I say about it? It was born out of, it was channeled through me when I was having this incredibly challenging experience, let's put it this way, of finding myself really growing out of spaces very quickly. And I actually found myself feeling guilty that I grew out of spaces very quickly. It's like, oh, at first I felt really good here, but then now I feel like, why are we talking about the same thing over and over again? Or like, why are we constantly finding ourselves complaining, but we're not really doing anything about it? Or finding yourself stepping into a place and you're growing out of the place, but admitting to that and sharing that doesn't bring a good reaction from other people. Like, all of these things gave me a deeper clarity about what it means to grow out of a space, and can I create a place where you get to be supported as you grow out of a space. So this space continues to grow with you. So it has to be a very fluid and dynamic place where all parts of you is allowed. All parts of you. So I want this to land really deeply for you. I want this to be a place where you understand that it's not about eliminating all the bad stuff so that you feel good. It's about you really knowing that you still get to feel so fucking good no matter what the circumstances are. Because it isn't the circumstances that you are fearing. It is the feeling of the circumstances that you fear. So we do this together, mentorship call, 2 tea ceremony activations with me where we enter the 0 point field together, and you get support on Telegram channel together. We get to have 2 weekly spaces where we can voice note each other. You can put in your contemplations, your shares, your wins, your questions, and all of that. And you get to use 30% of your credit towards the next level mentorship should you wish to continue journey on with me. And yes, you will also receive a tea package that uses the specific kind of living ancient indigenous growth tea that I work with in ceremony. So I hope that answers your question. This is the best place to jump in right now with me. More incredible things are going to happen eventually in the coming months. But right now, I just want to really focus on inviting in multidimensional women who are really, really ready to explore something that's longer term, and not just jumping and hopping from one thing to another, but really have the safe space to continue journeying on if you wish, but also have that foundational root where you get to understand that, oh, this isn't a quick fix. This isn't something that you just jump in and then you jump out of and then you forget and then you don't feel embodied at all. Like, I want you to embody your divine beingness. I really want this to land for all of you. So this is where I would highly, highly recommend, and please jump in as soon as you can. It's limited spots. If you need the link, just drop me a DM and then I can share the link with you. So yes, Mary's saying yes. Chandra, how do we teach ourselves? Oh my goodness. Open up your wisdom. Open up to your wisdom. Open up to receive. I think a lot of times mentorships really is here to guide you to open up to receive your own wisdom, to remember who you really are. Really, that's it. You're the only person who can walk on the path. You're the only person who can decide, because here's the thing. A lot of people can say, yes, I want to do this thing, and they never take any action. They watch this live and they say, wow, oh my God, I love it. And then the next thing you know, they go back to Netflixing, they go back to doing their old thing. They wake up every day with the same old feeling. So take responsibility for your life. If you feel that mentorship is going to be the way for you to access all of this power within you that you know exists within you at quantum speed, faster than teaching yourself, because yes, you know, I always say this, you can absolutely look online, look at the pictures, look at the videos and see, oh, she got the teapot from here, she got the bowl from here. I get so many people always DMing me, where do you get a teapot from? Where do you get this from? I can absolutely send you to these places. I have no problem with that. You can learn to sit with tea just by watching all these videos and just looking on the surface, right? You can sit there for years and years and you will never, ever tap into what a master could tell you in 1 minute. I have had to humble myself. You know, I used to be the one who think that, oh my goodness, I can absolutely learn all of this from books. I can absolutely learn all of this from like Instagram Reels, like YouTube, right? A few years ago, I walked into the tea ceremony and I was humbled. I knew I needed to go and apprentice myself at the tea room. And so after a few weeks of hum-haing and all of that, I eventually walked back into the ceremonial space and I asked, how can I learn everything about tea from you? I'm willing. And that was the first big investment I ever made in myself, without a certificate to show for it, without any university, like big sparkly things to show people. And I was the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I went there, I became an apprentice, I cleaned the tea room, I cleaned the cabinets, I looked after the kettles, I looked after the tea bowls, I made sure everything was on time. The people, I opened the door quietly. I wasn't the one serving. I was the one on the side waiting for the kettle to boil so that I can help the person who's serving. I was humbled and I was honored to do this. And if I didn't do that, I would never know the intricacy of all the little details that would have been overlooked if you only looked on YouTube or if you only taught yourself through books. It does help. I'm not saying it doesn't. But what I'm saying is the transmission between a teacher and a disciple, when the disciple is ready, the teacher will appear. And it is up to the disciple to decide to go for it. You have to decide. And all the things you learn, they are non-verbal transmissions. They are non-verbal transmissions. You can read all the books. You can do all the things. Watch the videos. Come on the live. Yes, amazing. But with a mentor, you're in a relationship. You're in the energy field together. Something potent happens when that happens. And I'm interested in forging that relationship with you. I'm interested in walking with you in all ways. Erin is saying, besides which, when you choose a teacher and you pay in some way, you not only make the energy around it more important for yourself, you also honor the teachings and the lineage of the teachings. Yes, yes, yes. By supporting those masters so that they may spread their knowledge wider. Abso-freaking-lutely, Erin. And also, again, reflection of your consciousness. Reflection of your consciousness, meaning if you find yourself unwilling to pay, if you find yourself constantly saying that I don't have the money, I don't have the things to exchange for it, then that will be a reflection of your state as well with your relationship with your students, your clients. Chandra's words, the problem is money, which I don't have. And I absolutely understand that. I didn't have the money. And it's exactly what I said. It's this sense of like, I really want to do this and the way will show up. Exactly, Erin. Erin saying if your soul tells you you need to do this, the money will appear. And remember, the money is energy. It's an energy form. So it can really, it's so fluid that it can appear and it can disappear. It can appear and it can disappear. So your work is to be so focused on the thought and the feeling and your actions. Like, what is the subconscious pattern that is running your system now? Scarcity, lack, unworthiness, disconnection. I need this right now or I will not make it. Then the work is to reprogram that subconscious. And can I also say, and this is coming from my heart, because I personally make this, I was initiated into it, and I made the promise as a teacher, as a space holder, as a master, or a mentor. I don't ever want to work with or ask a student or a client to come in through the energy of scarcity. No. I've done that long ago when I first started. And the relationship is just Wrong. Wrong. So it's important. It's my honor to serve, and I hold my responsibility on my end. So yes, I have spaces where there are only, one person. What does that mean about me? Nothing. Now I can sit here and say to you, it means all the world for me. It means all the world for me that you chose to work with me. And if it means I'm leading a space that I envisioned to have hundreds of people, but there was one person who signed up, I am going to still lead like there were thousands and hundreds and thousands of people that signed up. And I had a space that exactly happened that way. It's called Cha Dao for the multidimensional woman. I had this huge vision. I saw and I received the download from T. This space that needed to be open so that we can talk about T that is unspoken. The spirit of T that is the divine feminine. The way the relationship of T and women has long been unspoken. There's not much of a record on it. Many T sages are men. And so I received the download. I knew this space needed to open. And it's a long running thing. I knew it. One woman came in, 2 women, and then 1 woman renewed again and again and again. And I stayed the course. I really felt the power in this space. And I'm going to continue to allow the energy of this space to expand as I embody higher levels of energy, of frequency, as a leader, as a mentor, as a master. Because I'm not working alone. I've got my ancestors. I've got T to answer to. And all I'm doing right now is really to hold that space for you, for anyone who feels called to come through this way. That's all. And let it be known that the way of T has always been non-judgmental. Doesn't matter what religion you come in with. Doesn't matter whether you believe in source, Tao, God or not. Because there has never been dogma, no doctrine. This is truly a place where you get to fully explore who you really are. All parts of you. Every single part. No part is left behind. So Chandra, if you feel like money is an issue, attend the live sessions. I'm always here. I give as much as I can, freely. And then for those who really know, I'm meant to jump right in, I want it all. Come into the mentorship. Claim your sovereignty. Because the only way you can claim your sovereignty is to have a right relationship with your exchange, the receivership, and the way you give. If you truly believe you are an abundant being, you will give freely. No second thoughts, right? And if you truly, truly believe this work can work for you, there can be no second thoughts. You know that this will apply to every part of your life. When it opens up pathways for deeper listening to the cosmic rhythms, to your origin as the divinity that you are, as you cultivate this expansive container to receive. The other day I got a divine transmission from tea. Some of you may have seen it on my social media. If you want to pour more tea, you have to bring in a bigger teapot, something like that. And I laughed when I heard that transmission from Tea Spirit because it's so true. If you want to be a millionaire, if you want to be a big CEO who runs a big company, if you want to have thousands and thousands of clients, you want to speak to the world, you gotta cultivate your container to hold that energy, girls. You gotta do that. You gotta have that. Otherwise you'll burn out. You'll think like, oh my God, too much, overwhelmed. Oh my God. So my work is here to help you to build that container to receive, 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 receive. If you have an issue with it receiving, especially luxurious things, especially money, especially anything sacred, because you hold the sacred at arm's length, you think that it's far away from you or high above you, then I'm here for you. We come back into alignment. This is what we do. Dismantling, decolonizing your body, your mind, and your soul, or spirit, whatever you want to call it. So it is really important. And yes, I have a responsibility for my lineage. I have a responsibility for tea in a greater way, where it's a whole other subject which I can talk about another day. It's like the way the tea is being harvested and planted and taken care of, and the artisans. I love one of the books that I love is called The Unknown Craftsman. And The Unknown Craftsman is really, really interesting because I really recognize how powerful this book is. The fact that it was written after the Second World War and it's still so alive in today's society and still informing so many artisans and tea ceremonialists. And to think that if this person didn't think that his thoughts are important enough to write down, can you imagine? We would not even have this gift. And so I really want you to hold this vision of yourself. Like, what do you really see that you get to create, that you're here to create? Having a strong desire to do this with you, Liying, feeling scary to marry. Scary. Okay, this is going to be a perfect way to end today's live session. Scary, what does that mean? If you feel it in your solar plexus, if you feel it right here in your heart, around this area, let me tell you what it is. Your energy, there's an overflow of energy basically. You have more energy that you're trying to contain within you. And that's why it feels like you're anxious, it feels like you're scared, it feels like you're fearful. But actually what you're here to really do, very simple, let it. Express it. You're meant to grow. Again, outgrowth. You're meant to grow. You gotta hold the vision of who you really are, the higher self, not the version of you that's here now. Because the version of you that's here now is just a version that was created based on your past. So, you have the power within you to immediately switch to the higher self. The higher self knows. The higher self sees herself being supported. The higher self sees herself being in the mentorship. The higher self sees herself making this huge, well, at this moment for the human self, huge leap. But actually the higher self already feels like, oh, of course you made that leap. That's just who you are. But for the human right now, it's uncomfortable, it's scary because you've never done it before. That's all. And will you really ask yourself this question? Are you going to stay the same? Do the same? Try to figure this out? Or will you take that leap and know that the outcome is going to be what you want and even better? Because the minute you lose the mind, oh my God. If you stay in the mind, it's always going to be predictable. But the minute you step out of the comfort zone, the unpredictable happens. The unpredictable is so freaking good. So freaking good when it is aligned with your infinite being. Because it is who you are. It is exactly who you are. So, on my part, I can tell you this, I'm 100% with you. I know I'm really good at this work. My work offers a sacred reclamation of your power, and it's been doing so for many, many women. I'm here holding that space for you. If you want to jump in, come on in. And if you wish to stay connected. It's all good. But the space is open. The outgrowth is where we really go. We're going to keep growing. And I'm inviting in women who want to grow with me. Yeah. Whew. Oh my gosh. Where did time go? Where did time go? Oh my God. Okay. All right, Mary, that resonates 100%. All right, Mary, I hope to that you will walk your talk, and I want to see you in my space very soon, if not now. All right, I want to see that, like, yes, I'm in, I'm paid and in, right? Like, feel that power. Really feel the sovereignty in that. I'm paid, I'm in. Imagine that. Thank you, Erin. Oh my gosh. All right. Anyone else who's here and have anything you want to ask, I'll give this a moment. And if not, we can complete today's session. Yes, Chandra. Always, please do make use and then take that leap when the transformation lands for you. Okay? You are always welcome. All right, beautiful, 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 beautiful ones. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing some people here, but and also the energy is sky high because my laptop screen is twitching like crazy. All right, so no questions, nothing else, all hearts. Yes, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you all. Oh my goodness. All right, blessings. Have a beautiful full moon. This is a powerful time. It's truly a powerful time. And I shall see you when I see you. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy.